right. Welcome to Raising Funds for World Domination, day number 290. Rabi Dardar says hello. How's it going? Okay, so for today's daily update, it's a weekend, so there are once again no updates on the anticipated appeal of the LTB ruling that we won. Still no case numbers on that, so. And there is one remaining block type available in the Shopify Store. So get that before it's gone. And then once it is gone, I'll have to add some more block types. I'll just keep scaling things up. I think I had 2 before, and then I added 4. So once this one sells, I'll add 8 new block types. And the last long form video was 4 days ago. And other than that, we will continue working on the terminal block mining simulation game. All right, let's test out that it works. So the development work for tonight is consistent with previous nights. I'm still working on the refactoring arc of allowing support for connections. Being able to have one client that can have connections via local connections to a block world or remote connections over WebSockets. And so I guess the thing to do tonight, so the client is able to start up now with no connections, and then what I think I'll do is I'll modify the client so both of them will start up and they don't connect to anything, and then I'll make the process of manually connecting work, because there's a few things to get working on that. Okay, server works. Let's make sure the multiplayer client still works. Oh, interesting. I guess I haven't updated it. So this should be able to start up and do nothing, and then I can quit. All right, that works. Okay, so in this case, the workflow should be: the game starts up, there are no frames open, and no and no connections to any block worlds. And then I should be able to do escape, open custom frame, open world connection menu. So that should work, but it does not. All right, that makes sense. forget what the method is called. I think there's some method to get the values. Values. Well, yeah, that's because it's a multi-dimensional map. Finished yet? It'll never be finished. There's an infinite amount of work to do. Because you didn't watch the Super Bowl. Nope. I don't think I've ever watched the Super Bowl. Giordani says hello there. How's it going? Have you tried changing your gender online for fun? I have not. I have not tried that, nor have I ever. Nor has that idea even entered into my mind. I guess there are people who make money at that though. I think there's a pretty famous Russian dude who made a social media career and are doing that. But I mean, the competition is fierce for that stuff. There's lots of people doing that kind of stuff on the internet, and then they make $200 a month. It's okay. We all have fun online in our own way. People should take the internet more seriously. It's a very serious military tool. It was developed for serious research and important sharing of philosophy and information. What's a Super Bowl? A Taco Bell special thing. Something like that. You go and you say, hey, I want the Super Bowl for $9.99. And it's a big bowl filled with tons of ground beef and chicken and seasoning. You're great. Excellent. Military. Yes, sir. Yep, that's how everyone should be on the internet. They should be formal and do important work like engineering. Okay, that should fix the first. The first exception. guess I'll have to update this method so it passes in the client. That makes more sense. Yummy. I like a Super Bowl of chicken wings. They're pretty good. It depends on the quality of the chicken wings. Sometimes you get chicken wings and they're just full of bones. I actually studied engineering, but got stuck cleaning engine blocks due to COVID. And that sucks. So you completed the degree, and now you're cleaning engine blocks, or you were interrupted. If you got the degree, at least you can move in that direction in the future. If you're getting hands-on experience, that'll prepare you. It'll make you a better engineer in the future. Because a lot of engineers don't touch physical things, so they have bad ideas because of it. Have you done any more walk videos? I have not. I guess I probably should, but I also want to work. We're kind of at the peak of cold in the winter. So I guess that might actually even make it better. Go for a walk on a super cold night. The batteries might go fast. I'm new here. What are your plans for world domination? Why do you want to do it? That's a good question. So there's a link in the description to this video that talks about. That's my first. I should make a playlist. Now. If you watch my my most recent long form video, that'll go into some more plans of the whole process. But if you want the intro, there's a link in the description. And that's a pretty good intro. It's not 9 minutes or something. And then I have way more better fleshed out plans in the most recent long form video. Okay, let's see if that crashes again. Ever heard of a car called the Volkswagen Thing? And that's what it's called, Thing? What are you coding right now? I'm coding a terminal-based video game, which I guess well, it's hard to demo now. Let me just test one thing, and then I'll show you better. Okay, that's good. Okay, now I just need to implement the on submit method. Okay, you asked about what I'm working on. I will uncomment the lines that make that work. So I'm coding a terminal-based video game where you can simulate the process of mining blocks of iron ore and other minerals in an infinite procedurally generated universe. So once it boots up, okay, so here's the universe. So it runs purely in the terminal. So everything you see here is just text graphics or emoji characters. So there's some iron ore. I can go down, press the M key to mine those blocks. And then I can also open a crafting menu. And then I can make better pickaxes, like that. Then I go back over to the map area. And now when I mine, it mines out to a larger radius. So I can mine faster. They could not define the car, so they called it the Thing. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that could work. It could work for marketing, maybe. Can you add RuneScape city code, please, Mr. Robert? I don't know anything about RuneScape, but I guess maybe you could have cities eventually. Sounds like an interesting game, almost like a Minesweeper version of Minecraft. Yeah, some people have called it like terminal-based Minecraft. I would consider it like a generalization of kind of like a game engine. That's a generalization of any block-based game. Are there any enemies in the game? Not yet. So one of the that's obviously a pretty basic feature of a game. I have been working on adding network to multiplayer, which has required a lot of. I had kind of architected it that way, but it's just there's been lots of work to kind of engineer things around. Right now, I'm adding support for the ability to have like two different player objects on screen at once. And I guess right now I'm doing like the client-side refactoring of the multiplayer sport. Once that's done, then I'm also going to have to fix up some stuff on the server-side multiplayer sport. And I will probably implement enemies in a way so that the server's processing them almost like there are other players. So I'm going to need like a number of server threads that run and do things and like process, the entities and stuff. And I'll probably implement those as basically just like clients that interact with the world and stuff. So that should like simplify the long-term development. You'll be releasing this game anywhere? It's already released. So every few days I do a push. The code is available at the link in the GitHub description. And there should be a link in the description. Bring up the Volkswagen thing. There's a lot of engineers and students would add to the frame of the car over the years, and later they add a computer to the engine. I bring up the Volkswagen thing because a lot of engineers and students would add to the frame of the car over the years, and later add a computer. My understanding is that's been the case for like most cars, is that as soon as I think it was like emissions control standards, when those came in, then they decided to make the IC engine more efficient. I think they needed to bring out microchips into it, and now there's like 17 different microchips in a modern vehicle. I subscribe because stream name made me laugh. I hope you achieve your goals. Thank you. Is there a base to put the rocks, or just hold them all? Right now there's nothing. You can't really do anything with the items. They just kind of go in your inventory. But yeah, you can. One of the UI features I spent a lot of work on recently was the scrollable list, which I can use for a few things in the game. But yeah, all you can do now is just like select them. You can place them. So I can. Oh, you know what? Is it not working? P. It's supposed to be P key to place. Did I disable this? Oh, it's supposed to be possible to place items. Let me see what's going on. Action, place block. That should work. Can we at least customize our blip character? Oh, the actual emoji? Yeah, actually you can. Let me think. Player object, skin type. Happy face, angry face. That is in block skins. Oh, I guess it's on player initialization. That's where I set it. So I guess if I change the I guess I could just do yeah, so if I comment that and then do this, that should make it an angry face. Robert, is there music sound effects for the game? If not, we should add some. Yeah, a few people have asked about that. At this point, I'm going to focus on more, I think, higher impact stuff like the adding sound support. It'd be a bit of work to add that in a way that's like portable, and I probably end up breaking it all the time. I think multiplayer is multiplayer in like a robust server model for server-side entities. I think that's a higher priority thing. Anyway, someone asked about if you customize our blip character. So this would be customization of the emoji character. So if you want to be an angry face, you can have this. Yeah. Actually, let me fix one more thing. right, it does not crash. Okay, the next thing will be to add an event handler. An event handler for the open button. And what it's going to do it's going to do this. Bricks, an Android dinghy, and a door. If those are emojis, I can add those to game. David Oswald says, "Hello, Rob. What's new today?" What's new today is I'm getting close to closing the arc, this arc of refactoring that will allow for the ability to create new, dynamic new world connections at runtime. So that'll be, I can start up the game, I can not be connected to any server, and then I specify either the file or the WebSockets connection information, and then it'll open a new connection to a block world, either local or remote at runtime, instead of hard coding it in the startup client. Wasn't there a very old game from Qatari called BitMiner? Maybe. I don't know. Okay, for local world submit button. So how much time do you think people would, how much time you think people would enjoy your game? Do you mean how much time would a given individual spend playing the game, or how much time would it take for me to develop the game until it's enjoyable? How many days would people enjoy playing it? That's a good question. At the moment, it depends how much content there is in it. I think the enjoyability really depends on, the key features that do or do not exist. I think with the enjoyability, I think, is really related to what crafting rules exist and how balanced the resources are. I think, because that's one of the things that made Minecraft addictive. Is you go and you mine a resource and you make something and stuff. But I think if you took Minecraft and you removed a couple crafting recipes, a couple critical crafting recipes, nobody would play it, because it would just be if Minecraft was just exploring the world, that would totally change the game dynamic. But I think the if the multiplayer stuff exists, that opens up a whole new dimension for how much. Because any game that's multiplayer, people will play it because their friends are playing it. Looks like a fun game so far. Hopefully. I actually don't even know. I don't think anyone has played it for any meaningful amount of time. I think you could probably get about, probably up to an hour of fun out of it so far. The adding more crafting recipes and having more stuff to do, just adding some enemies and stuff, would be a big deal. Okay, these things are all null. Remember Atari? It was just light up shapes. People had fun playing. Yeah, people can have fun with like a pretty primitive game engine. But to be commercially viable today, the challenge is to like compete for attention, because there's so many good games now, and there's so many interesting things to do online. Okay, I forget how to get request the contents of a form. Shoseki says, "Evening. How's it going?" I fixed the dedication to your block type, which I could demo that momentarily once I fix the setup default connection. Okay. Now, do I have a method to retrieve? Maybe I don't. Sent text, but there's no get text. So we'll have to edit. I saw your video series on regular expressions. I found it useful. Excellent. That's I put quite a bit of work into that. That's one of my earlier, one of my first few video series, and the number of views did not correspond with what I had hoped, how much effort I put into it. So I'm glad that you like that. There's also some blog posts to go with it from back when I did blog posts. So I guess I'll have to join these. It's not always the way. You put tons of effort, energy into something. It goes nowhere, but some garbage you put out, suddenly it gains traction. It's not even clear why. Yeah, that is how it goes. And frankly, I'm not cool with that, because it's like, let's say if you own a convenience store, there's some rhyme or reason to what products actually sell. So if you have a product that sells, you invest more time and effort in procuring that product and related products and stuff. You can like double down on it. But it almost seems like with social media, there's no way to like learn from your successes and failures. It almost seems like it's algorithmically designed that way. Where's everyone else in chat? Game Dev Chad says music. Recently, I've been trying to become a value theoretician, which is a term I made up. Try to understand why something has value. Yeah, I mean, that's an abstract idea, but I think the value of correctly evaluating the value of things, I think is very high. If you can figure out that formula, then you would have a lot of value. You could sell it to the stock market and make a lot of money, or to Wall Street. Okay, that might do what I want. You could become an event organizer, pay your rent that way. Oh, we got a super chat from James Goodrich, $10. Something has value because you and maybe others decide it has value. Otherwise, it only has purpose, which humanity doesn't always ascribe. Value is a human concept, I think. Yeah, I guess. I guess that's one interpretation for everyday life. I think you could probably, if you wanted to like try a bit harder to build like an economic model of value, you'd probably tie it to energy. Because I would say that in general, things that have the capability like to produce stuff, like if you have a system that can keep itself going, that might be more valuable than a system that can't. And for that, you need some energy and some sustainability. You could become an event organizer, pay rent that way. I did run some events back in the day, and I thought that might have been a way to grow my business, but the amount of money you can derive from it, like I think to run events, you need a space, and it costs money to like rent it. So I actually was renting some space at the library for a bit. I was giving these like educational, like some lectures on intuitive programming and stuff, and I experimented with that for a while. And I made like, I don't know, I basically broke even on what the cost of renting the room. It was a lot of work. I've been watching a YouTuber who farms gold in World of Warcraft. It's easier for him because he can look in the auction house to determine how much an activity will yield. Is that kind of thing still? Can you still actually make money on that? I remember back in the day that was something that people were. There were like people in China. Even back then, it seemed like a competitive market. I ran some events in VR. Yeah, I guess that could be a thing. I've never done VR. All the clips I see of VR, it's like that seems like a really wacky. Like there's already lots of weird people on YouTube, but I think there'd be even more weird people in VR. More theoretical, it makes gold, but that doesn't always translate to real world money. Well, gold in World of Warcraft, that'll only take you so far. Okay, that may complete the setup of the New World connection. All right, let's test that out. If virtual gold is worthless, I should retire and buy a YouTube channel. A YouTube channel called an island? If virtual gold is worthless, I should retire and buy a YouTube channel called an island. I don't get it. You don't use AI at all for coding. Not like even auto code completion. Nope, not yet. It's high on my to-do list to experiment with that. I just have been busy with other stuff. There are companies who buy YouTube channels, but you have to have a certain number of subscribers. Probably not worth it. Yeah, they probably give you your under the value you'd get anyway. And then they just like scam all of your subscribers. Wonder if that's what happened to Fireship. Or the YouTube channel. Yeah, I don't think I've seen many videos from them. Channels seem to trend a lot for a while. I'll see a lot of videos from that channel and then I never see them again. Prefer having conversation through live streams because the human being can answer your questions. How do you know for sure that I'm a human being, though? It's going to get increasingly difficult to know for sure. Okay, that might be it. All right, let's try the very first opening of a new world from this dialog box. I guess it needs some feedback because I have no idea if it worked. But if it did, then I should be able to open a map area. Nope. It did not work. Okay, well, I'll at least commit that. Oh yeah, that's because I forgot to create an authorized world connection. Okay, I'll do that next time. For now, I will just demo the updates to the home menu. I'm a human being. So is my wife. Yeah, you bought a block type from me, so I have higher confidence in your humanness. You seem nice and really care about the quality of your work. Code will never understand what starving artist integrity is. Well, thank you for your kind words. Okay. All right, there we go. I have updated, as I claimed, I have updated the dedication. So there's your block dedication type for smectite. Yep. It's an old joke. I'm Spartacus, and so is my wife. I don't know the joke. I've never heard the joke before. I'll have to look it up. Well, I think I will leave it there for tonight. I put in my hour. I ground forward a little bit of progress. So, like I say, this is still like in the early prototyping of creating new connections and stuff. I'm going to divide it up into, so that there's going to be the open world connection dialog. So that opens a connection either to a database SQLite world or the block world. I think this is actually working. I don't know if I'll verify next stream for sure. And then if I close that, and the open authorized world connection, this is basically where you would specify. Oh, there we go. This is where you specify. I guess what I'll have, I also need to display a list of the existing world connections, and just make it simple. I'll make you type the index. That's easier than having the list. And then you just tell the game the ID of your player. So for initially that could just be 0, 1, 2. So the initial version of multiplayer would be, you boot up the game and you just say, okay, you be player 0, I'll be player 1, and then you just put in that ID number, and then the server just trusts you. And if you put in something wild, then it may crash. And then a longer term thing would be the authorized connection ID might come from an authentication server. It could be a random large value or something. Do you know that virtual pet rock exists? There's a simple code, but you can reprogram them. That's pretty that's pretty rough. It's already kind kind of sad enough that you have to have a pet rock, but a virtual pet rock that's even more bare bones. Google AI account 1 says, how's it going? Not too bad. Just about to conclude the stream. Good night, Mr. Relaxing Voice. Have a good night. Made some progress? Yes, indeed. Word indeed. And word will in fact be the last word of the stream after I read this comment. Hi, Robert. I just realized that I was 3 degrees of connection away from Epstein back before COVID times, when my boss was 2 degrees away from Epstein. Used to work in the cryptocurrency sphere. Yeah, honestly, I almost think, like, given how much stuff he was connected to, I'm kind of surprised that there are not more people that are. I'm surprised that you're not closer connected to him, because at this point, like, there's I don't know how confirmed it is, but there's there was a bit potential connections between like Reddit moderators and Maxwell stuff, but all right, well, we'll end things there for tonight, and we'll be back tomorrow night for day 291. Have a good night, and thanks for the super chat.